Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. American troops come head-to-head with their Russian counterparts in Niger. Sounds like the plotline to some war movie, but that is what's happening in the landlocked West African nation, where the new ruling junta has declared the continued presence of the U.S. to be illegal. The ouster is being led by a general and several of his officers who are the beneficiaries of, you guessed it, U.S. military training. Plus, the bases they're throwing us out from include Air Base 201, the largest construction project in the history of our Air Force, which cost American, not Nigerian or Russian taxpayers, about $280 million to launch drone strikes on Islamic terrorists from. How come this always seems to happen to us? The very people we fund abroad and train use that to turn around and stab us in the back. Maybe it should make us more careful moving forward on how we utilize our resources abroad, but who am I kidding? DC doesn't learn lessons. So it's been months since the military coup overthrew the Western-backed government of Niger last year and replaced it with one friendly to Russia and even to China. And it's been a few weeks since our continued presence in the country has been deemed to be illegal. Withdrawal negotiations have been ongoing for the nearly 1,000 troops who have left at 2 air bases in Niger, one at the Niamey International Airport and the rest about 500 miles away from the capital. Russian troops are now on the airbase at Niamey, within a mile or two of the Americans, as the pressure to get us out keeps increasing. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz has been in touch with senior enlisted officials on the ground in Niger who have been using him, as a conduit to D.C. to blow the whistle on just how bad the situation there is becoming. Gaetz relays, quote, "They've sent intel reports stating that they rarely get safe water. There are no diplomatic overflights to receive medicine, fresh troop rotations, or even basic supplies," end quote. Gaetz says these troops have been left functionally stranded and that another Benghazi situation could result from it. He also linked to a video of his remarks about it on the House floor from last month. Watch.
Our partner countries, Italy and Germany, you would think they would help us facilitate medicine and supplies, but they won't even help transport needed materiel to our service members because they're worried about being expelled from the country. And if that isn't worse, the fact that we've got Russia as the preferred security partner now means there are Russians behind the wire at Air Base 101. We have Russians on our base somewhere. That would never happen. But the only reason it's happening is because Blinken and Biden are humiliated that their plan failed, that they poured $500 million into this country where now we're being thrown out by the scruff of our neck. Well, Joe Biden and Tony Blinken's failures should not have to be visited on the 1,100 service members there who are there fighting for us, wanting to do patriotic duty, and are being held hostage, and they are being stranded. And I will fight for them, and I will fight against this administration that would use our service members as pawns because they can't get their act together. Just because Biden and Blinken can't say oops doesn't mean we should abandon our troops.
Joining us now to discuss is national security researcher John Rosamondo. John, thanks for being here tonight. How bad of a situation is it in Niger right now, especially as American strength is being threatened left and right on the world stage?
Well, considering that the Nigerians have switched over to the Russians, I mean, basically our entire mission has become a disaster. We're there to keep ISIS from continuous terror reign, which also could lead to more refugee flows to the north through Libya and into Europe. So that is a real problem. I mean, this just reminds me of more of the same stuff from this bunch, going back to Afghanistan, where we cut and ran, and we failed to support the Afghan military and to support the Afghan state. In Niger, we went from having a pro-American government to one that's friendly to the Russians. It goes back to show that Joe Biden's weakness makes Jimmy Carter look like a hawk.